So my name is Terry Funk, and I'm a teacher librarian at Bonita Vista Middle. Today I'm going to talk about feedback methods, and I chose this topic because a few years back I took an online course and the professor was virtually absent. Content was online and students could turn in assignments, but our grades were missing, and there was no response to questions. After a while it became rather like a mystery. We did initiate an inquiry by contacting admin, and they too had difficulty contacting this particular instructor. Since then, I've taken several online classes and I know better what to expect. Yet that first experience of a professor missing in action has stayed with me, and I know that students of all ages and all levels of technical skill need communication online and timely communication to address their concerns. Just like teaching in a classroom, online teachers need to establish a positive environment. This begins with soft skills such as being on time, using courtesy, and having a positive disposition, which I think can be as important as learning the subject matter. In this space, teachers model etiquette and expect students to follow their lead. Feedback can be delivered in both synchronous and asynchronous settings. For example, in a live lecture, students may use the chat box or audio functions to ask questions and receive answers. Other forms of feedback, asynchronous feedback, include grades, email, blogs, discussion boards, document editing, progress reports, evaluations, and so on. Feedback may be planned on and solicited from different audiences. In our present professional development sessions, teachers are responding to colleagues. Soon we will have our own classes online, and we need to think about how best to engage and respond to students. First of all, make your expectations clear and allow students the opportunity to reach out and find you. You may want to do weekly announcements to prepare students for what's ahead, what they need to do to stay on target, to celebrate student successes, or to leave a message for the entire class. Also, you might want to encourage students to email you with any questions they have, if email is in fact your preferred method of contact. Or you may want to set up times for instant messaging, office hours. In this way, you make yourself available and present. So, informal ways of soliciting feedback from students include things like polls, surveys, voting, or checks for understanding during a lesson. You may want to plan on having students partner or team together online for an assignment, in which case they can provide feedback to one another. A simple way to do this is in discussions. Students write a response to a discussion question and then are also assigned to respond to one or two other student posts. Again, I want to emphasize that online feedback is very necessary. Different audiences, even with beginning online skills, can succeed with instruction and connection to others. Each assignment has both content and process goals, and in the beginning you may have more student questions about the process itself, such as, okay, so where do I find that article? Or how do I get the audio to work? Findability is key, and what do you say if you aren't sure either? I recommend keeping a troubleshooting log, just a simple spreadsheet for those questions that you can't answer right away. Try to get the answer or refer the student to someone who can get the answer that same day. You may also want to consider credit, no credit grades on tests that include developing skills online, giving students the chance to resubmit with your further direction on how they can do things to make it better. Online learning is both challenging and rewarding. Remember, you are building community, connection, confidence, as well as teaching subject matter. So to review, good feedback is frequent and timely. 24 hours is a good rule of thumb for those questions you can't answer right away. Use different tools such as announcements, chats, audio and written comments, email, and so on. Students can work together on different assignments and provide feedback to one another through discussion, edits, dividing up tasks, and coming together again to review the whole. When responding to individual students, use their name, provide feedback that includes both what works and what doesn't, be specific, respond to questions, point them in the right direction. I have some examples of things that I've done with students in the past that I'm going to show you. First one is letters to students, and this does not mean a letter that you post in snail mail with a stamp. This can be done even with email. You basically just write a simple letter to your student. It's maybe a congratulations on their progress, or at the end of the semester on completing the course, and you reiterate that they've done well in the online environment. If it's a progress note, you can talk to them about what else they can do to stay on task. In this letter I've just put down to get their work in timely, and I've also included how they can get a hold of me. We talked a little bit about having a spreadsheet for problems that you can't answer, and just off the top of your head, you need some time to get back to the student. If you keep a log of those issues, then at the end of the semester you should be able to see that everything is resolved. This is more like feedback to yourself. Google Edits. When you have a document on Google Docs, it's very easy to make revisions. You come over here and make a comment, and then whoever is doing the edits takes a look at it and makes those revisions. This way, more than one person can actually share the document and make edits. You can also have one student be the editor. The other students suggest edits, and so then the editor comes back and accepts or rejects the edits. Another thing that I really like are blogs. This is an example of my blog, and because I'm a teacher librarian, my blog is mostly about books, new titles that have come to the library. But the thing I like about blogs is that students can think about how they want to present themselves online. They can add, depending on the platform, they can add pictures and videos. They can also develop a sense of expertise. What am I good at? They want to present it in more of an academic tone, and then other students can also comment on their blog. If you don't want to do something as formal as a blog, you can just do, this is my Google Classroom, and I have a library club. So what I have here is on my stream page, I have a discussion question, and then students are allowed to comment on my discussion post. You can also have students start their own threads or their own discussions and comment on each other's posts. Lastly, I want to show you how I've used Google Forms to create a survey. This is about screen time, and I have like 5 questions here. Short little survey. You can have it as short as 1 question, like a poll, you're polling students on an issue. Just have one question. And then you can show students their responses. This is information for you and also for them. So I like the use of Google Forms for that. You can also use it to do little quizzes and so forth. So anyway, those are just some little tips that I have for you on how to infuse more feedback into your lessons. I also have on my slides some how-to videos. So if you get my slides, you can go back, and these are interactive links. They'll take you to a tutorial on Google Forms for beginners, and also more about how to use announcements and posting them in Google Classrooms. This last one is about a 5-minute video about how to write online feedback. It's more for adult learners, but they have some good guidelines so that you can even modify it and use it with students. So I put that in there as well. Okay, so that's all I have for now. There is a little evaluation at the end. If you'd like to evaluate my little presentation here. And I'm always available for questions, and you can always email me at sweetwaterschools.org. Terry Funk, terry.funk@sweetwaterschools.org, and I'll be happy to help you if I can. Thank you.